Picture a busy city street at night. You've got thousands of people walking by, right? And from the outside, most of them are wearing these smiling, perfectly normal masks. But what happens when those masks start to crack? Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a topic that is honestly just as fascinating as it is deeply unsettling. You see, we usually think of danger as something super obvious, something lurking in the shadows. But today, we're exploring the reality that some of the most dangerous behaviors might actually be coming from the people sitting right next to us.
Just imagine this for a second. What if manipulation and emotional harm don't always come from some random stranger in a dark alley? What if they're coming from a trusted friend? Or maybe a coworker you collaborate with literally every day? Or honestly, even a romantic partner? The wild thing is, every single day we interact with people whose hidden behaviors are specifically designed to confuse, control, or emotionally harm others. It's this quiet kind of danger, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Section 1. Welcome to Dark Psychology, the study of hidden human behaviors. So what exactly are we talking about here? Well, dark psychology is formally defined as the study of behaviors used to manipulate, deceive, or control others. Now, let's be clear, we aren't talking about crazy Hollywood movie plots. This is the study of real, observable human behaviors that are happening in offices, in living rooms, and right on our phones every single day.
Pop culture absolutely loves to tell us this stuff is all about magic, or mind reading, or some kind of supernatural hypnosis. But let's look at the reality. We're dealing with deliberate, totally grounded actions here. Emotional manipulation, exploitation, dishonesty, and just this relentless pursuit of control. There are no pocket watches or swinging pendulums required. It's not magic at all. It's a very, very calculated human strategy.
Now, before we go any deeper, I need to give you a crucial disclaimer. Humans are incredibly complicated. If someone displays one of these behaviors on a really bad day, it definitely does not automatically mean they have a severe mental disorder. The goal of this explainer isn't to make you completely paranoid or to turn you into some amateur psychiatrist diagnosing all your friends. Not at all. The goal is to understand these patterns so you can build much healthier relationships and ultimately protect yourself.
Section 2. The Covert Narcissist. The danger of the quiet manipulator.
Okay, so not all narcissists are obvious, right? We tend to picture the loud, arrogant type. But covert narcissists, they often present themselves as quiet, highly sensitive, or even terribly shy. On the outside, they might appear incredibly humble, but deep down, beneath that shy exterior, they are harboring this constant, burning need for admiration and validation. The packaging might look totally different, but trust me, the core psychological drive is exactly the same.
And here is where that mask starts to slip. First off, they constantly play the misunderstood genius. They really believe no one appreciates how special they truly are. Second, they are hypersensitive. Like, even a tiny piece of constructive feedback is treated as a massive, full-blown personal attack. Third, they frequently play the victim card. Whenever problems pop up, they almost never take responsibility. They'd much rather blame others or just focus on how they've been wronged. And finally, they really struggle with empathy. They prioritize their own emotional needs far, far above anyone else's. And the irony? They often think they're the most empathetic person in the room, all while completely draining yours. And honestly, this phrase right here perfectly captures how they operate. I guess I'm just terrible at everything. We've all heard someone say this, right? But the covert narcissist doesn't say this to get actual advice. Nope. They use it as a mechanism to seek indirect validation and reassurance. They want you to rush in and go, "No, no way, you're amazing." Now remember, just having a couple of these traits doesn't automatically equal a narcissist. True diagnosis absolutely requires a qualified professional. But recognizing this specific tactic, that's a huge step in seeing the manipulation for what it really is.
Section 3. Gaslighting and mind control, twisting your reality. Let's talk about how gaslighting actually works. On one side, you have your normal memory, your actual lived experience of what you clearly remember happening. But then comes the gaslighter's response. They'll drop something like, "That never happened," or "You're totally overreacting." They deliberately exploit our brain's natural craving for certainty just to make us doubt our very own reality. It's incredibly disorienting.
So, what are the warning signs you should look out for? Well, if you find yourself constantly apologizing, or if you're second-guessing your own memories all the time, or maybe you feel incredibly confused after what should be simple conversations and you're trusting your own judgment less and less, you might actually be experiencing gaslighting. I want to be very, very clear here. Healthy relationships make you feel safe, respected, and heard. They absolutely do not make you feel like you're losing your grip on reality.
Section 4.
Sociopaths and serial killers, the extreme end of the spectrum.
All right, first things first, let's desensationalize this topic entirely. Despite what you might see in internet myths or movies, you cannot identify a sociopath in 3 seconds. There is no single expression, no specific dead-eyed stare, and no isolated piece of body language that just proves it. Human behavior is vastly too complicated to diagnose with a quick glance across a room.
Instead of looking for some 3-second tell, psychologists actually look for specific, repeated patterns over time. We're talking about constant lying, manipulating people for personal gain, taking reckless risks, completely ignoring how their actions hurt others, and breaking trust again and again. The absolutely key word here is pattern. Because, let's face it, a single mistake proves nothing. Everyone makes mistakes. It's the repeated pattern that tells the true story.
Now, when we ask why some people commit extremely violent crimes, like serial killers, the answer is this highly complex interaction of multiple factors. It's kind of like a giant puzzle coming together. You have personality traits, childhood trauma, brain development, and environmental influences, and they all collide with a severe difficulty in empathy or emotional regulation. The reality is, there is simply no single cause for violent crimes.
And that actually brings us to a profoundly important point. Most people who experience trauma or mental health challenges never become violent criminals. Never. The reason psychology studies these extreme cases is purely to understand the puzzle, so we can hopefully stop it from coming together in the future. We do this to dissect the psychology behind it, definitely not to glorify or sensationalize the violence.
Section 5. Protecting your peace. Actionable defense mechanisms.
All right, let's talk about some actionable defense mechanisms you can actually start using today. Step 1. Trust patterns, not promises. Look, not every smile means kindness, and not every apology means actual change. You have to watch what people do over time. Step 2, set healthy boundaries. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. And step 3, listen to your instincts. If a relationship consistently leaves you feeling drained, confused, or doubting yourself, you need to listen to that internal alarm. Your awareness is absolutely your best protection.
We're going to wrap up our explainer today with this really powerful takeaway. Knowledge doesn't make you suspicious of everyone. It helps you recognize unhealthy behavior and protect your peace. And that hits the nail right on the head. The more you understand the hidden mechanisms of the human mind, the harder it becomes for manipulation to control you. So, as you go back out into the world today, I want to leave you with this question. Who in your life might be relying on a mask? And now that you have these tools, are you ready to see what's really beneath it?